Hello and welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. Today I have with me, as usual, my special guest, Mr. Tariq Reddy. How are you doing?
Great, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I was going to introduce you as co-host. Yeah, you're basically co-host as well. But thank you for covering for me last week. So it was an interesting game week 6. So we'll be recapping that and looking forward to game week 7. Your initial thoughts on the game week? Were you happy personally with the points you got?
Actually, I was under the average points, but I was happy because I chose not to take so many hits to bring Salah, captain him, and to bring. I wanted to bring Grealish and Aston Villa defense, and like, thank God I didn't do that because they ended up blanking and conceding goals. So I'm like quite happy.
Mm. I saw you kept James Rodriguez as well in the team, and he did play. Like he didn't score, but at least like you didn't get a blank from him.
Yeah, so his 2 points is better than getting Grealish who got 1 point, and I would have
Yeah,
had to take a transfer hit. So it's actually his 2 points is very worth a lot.
yeah, and Batman and Robin were added again, huh? Kane and Son, they saved a lot of people's game weeks.
Yeah, I said it last week is that Kane dropped into this central cam role where he feeds his son a lot, and it showed again that Son has been going into striker position. Kane was there to assist him, and they're benefiting a lot from that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So if you look at the fixtures, we'll start with the Friday fixture: Leeds versus Aston Villa. Your thoughts on this? Bamford, man, a lot of people had him. A lot of people took him out, but whoever stuck with him, he paid them back.
I mean, this game I did not expect it. I expected Villa to continue playing well and doing well as they have been doing. They won every single game until this. But
Mm.
everyone forgets how good Leeds were against City and Liverpool, and I think Aston Villa got a bit too excited, and Leeds just kept their composure and kept their performance as if they're playing any team. That's the good thing about their managers that you expect the best from them. So it was a surprise because I was expecting Villa to do well as they've been doing, but it was also not a surprise since we've actually seen how good Leeds are. And I think Bamford being at the front of that like very strong attacking team is he's a really good option at that price. He's just 5.9, but I would still not get him because of their fixtures. And I mean, I think that's pretty much it. But he's a very good option.
He's probably the bargain of the season. Like I have him. I got him a while back, so like I'll probably stick with him because for me, he's been the bargain of the season. But you're right. Like maybe he might not score every game, and he had a dry spell recently. But he's probably if you look at his price, he's worth it in that sense, right?
Yeah, he is a bargain in terms of forwards. Like in the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
this year, the forwards you can't really find a cheap good forward. Although we will be coming into that, I have one guy in mind.
yeah.
But the other things you can take from this game is just the fact that Aston Villa is not going to be that the Leicester this season.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe, but I don't expect it. But despite all that, the stats showed that Grealish was still performing really well. So
Yeah,
people
he
have
he,
Grealish.
he was unlucky here and there.
Yeah, he was unlucky. Although they lost 3-0, it doesn't mean that big. So if you have Villa assets, I think you should keep them and they'll do well.
They'll do well. And just lastly on this game, the clean sheet surprised you for Leeds, maybe not the win because they are scoring goals and like you said, they've been playing well, but the clean sheet must have been surprising.
Yeah, it is because they're a very attacking team. They allow to concede because they're gonna keep scoring. So it did surprise me, but I mean, in context, it surprised me because of how well Villa's doing. But if you saw this game without knowing how well Villa's doing, you'd be like, oh, it's not a surprise at all. Whatever, Leeds won 3-0 with Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So I feel like this game you have to look outside the box sometimes. Don't like be stuck in the mindset, oh, Aston Villa is Man City. Like you have your premium teams and then you have your okay teams.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then moving on to the next game, the Saturday's games, West Ham versus Man City. Man City dropping points again, but Foden looks like a good shout this season. He's been contributing quite consistently. What are your thoughts on him and City's
Yeah,
performance?
definitely. I think Foden at his price, I think it's 6.6, to play in the Man City midfield, he's a great option. Like, he creates so many chances. He scores. As you can see, this was like I think his first touch was a goal as soon as he
Mm.
came off the sub. Um,
But that's a
he's
problem, right? Because he's a sub.
yeah. I mean, it is a problem because Guardiola loves to rotate, but at 6.6 million and playing for Man City, like you wouldn't mind if he gets rotated. Like once every 3 games. Because before this, he played 3 games full,
Mm.
90 minutes. So you expect him to play the next 3 games in full.
So he will start. It's just the odd game that where he'll be
Yeah,
benched.
exactly. Just the odd game he'll be rested. Just
And
that's you
mm,
expect that from Guardiola from every player.
no, yeah, definitely. And Antonio, man, like since I left this guy, he was in my team first couple of game weeks. Since I left him, he's been scoring regularly. Like no matter who the opposition is, he's getting into the areas. He's scoring the goals. Like your thoughts on him as a striker?
Honestly, West Ham in general have been the biggest surprise for me this season. I mean, they still have Moyes, and he's like a good manager now, I guess. Uh, they're against their XG per game has been like 3, which means they're expected to score 3 goals per game. And they've played Leicester, they've played Arsenal, they've played City, all big games. And
And Spurs, right?
Spurs, yes, where they
Three
made
all.
that they come
Yeah.
back. So they have no, so next week they have Liverpool away, and then after that their fixtures are like so easy. So I really like, if not this week against Liverpool, the week after, I highly recommend getting some West Ham assets. And if I had to recommend which players, I'd say Antonio forward,
Yeah.
in midfield probably Bowen, and defense Masuaku or Cresswell because they're like getting those assists.
But do you think the way Moyes sets them up, they prefer these kind of games as to games against weaker teams or like similar level teams because that's where they have to take charge. Over here, they can play on the counter.
I mean, yeah, that's a great point. But we saw last season where they destroyed the small teams like Norwich 4-0,
Yeah.
and I forgot who else, but it shows that they're capable of playing those other teams their level or lower.
Yeah.
But you're right, like you never really know with FPL what's going to happen. But if you had to place your bets, they're doing well against big teams. You're gonna put your chances on them against the small teams.
Yeah. And Antonio's in your team.
He's not in my team at the moment, but I want him in two
He
weeks.
needs
Not
to be in your team every single game week, regardless, even if he's injured. Because remember what happened last year.
last, I randomly put him in, and he scored 4 goals. Yeah,
4 goals, like he won you the league. So that guy
yeah.
has to be your favorite player in fantasy. He has to be. Yeah, that was
Uh,
unbelievable.
he is. He is actually. Since then, he's been my favorite player. Can't
Yeah,
deny.
yeah, that was unbelievable. So I think, yeah, that sums up that game. And then moving on to the Crystal Palace Fulham game. Zaha, man, very influential. You mentioned him at the start of the season, and like again with a goal and an assist, he's been very influential, getting the points for his team and for the FPL managers.
So yeah, this is also a hard one to analyze. Yeah, I remember saying from the beginning of the season that in preseason he was showing he's really determined to
Mm.
play well, taking all his chances, getting goals, assists. He's taking penalties now. He's like a big part of the team, the main guy.
Yeah, that makes
So
a big difference, man. Taking penalties.
yeah, it's huge. Yeah, like this season, every game was a penalty.
Yeah.
So at his price is very worth getting. It's just when I saw the stats for Crystal Palace, you know how I said the XG for West Ham was 3 per game?
Mm.
Palace's XG is 0 per game. They're
Wow.
expected to score 0 every game, but they scored 2. So when they scored 2 from random goals or goals that were not expected to be, that's when the stats become 0. You should read up on XG whenever you have the time, just so
Mm.
you can understand that stat properly.
Yeah.
So just because they're 0 doesn't mean they're not going to score. But it just shows that they're not expected to score based off of this stat. But he still manages to get 2 goals, like a goal and assist. So with the lack of good options with Hamas, uh, probably going down now. Grealish, not as crazy as that 7-2 game.
Yeah.
You might want to jump on Zaha because he has so many good games coming up.
I think
Five,
that's
six.
the important thing for him. Like if the fixtures are good, then he'll be like a target that you'll want, depending on the fixture.
Definitely, uh, like he's playing that striker role, free role, and he wants to score. He wants to get that big money transfer. He wants to leave. Like he's been trying to leave Palace for years. He's stuck
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, I think you covered that game. Any other thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Also, in terms of their defense, it looks like Mitchell, the guy who's started off 4.0, might stick to his place. Instead of left back, he might go to right back with Van Aanholt coming back at left back. That's a really good option. I would recommend is Van Aanholt. He's known to score goals.
Yeah.
He loves to bomb down the wing, give assists and score goals, and he's just back from injury for a Palace team that looks strong this year. And in terms of their defense, very tight. They got very unlucky to concede to Fulham in the last minute. But Van Aanholt, with that goal aspect to him and defense, can get you those clean sheets and goals. That's a guy I would recommend.
Yep, that's very interesting. And then moving on to the next game, we expected a lot of goals because of the weak defense, but completely opposite happened. All the strikers, midfielders, no one got that many points. It was the defenders who got the clean sheet points. Were you surprised with the result?
I wasn't surprised. I had
Just
no
because
idea.
of the fact that their defenses, both teams have been leaking a lot of goals.
Yeah, that's true. In a sense, I thought it would be 1-1. Uh, but the fact that they kept clean sheets, it shows that I don't really know, but I wasn't surprised that nothing happened. Like if it was 1-1, also nothing happened. I just
Yeah.
expected this game to be like no FPL points, where
Oh,
it's like
okay. Yeah.
close my eyes when I just watch the game for the sake of the game.
Yeah. Anyone
Uh,
impressed you?
I just like that Timo Werner's central again. I'm not liking that Pulisic is playing on the right. If he plays on the left, he will get a lot of points for FPL teams. That's his position. Havertz, I think Havertz is a good option going forward because this guy's playing central in the Chelsea team and right behind Werner. So he's going to get assists for Werner and he's going to get his own goals. And they have really good fixtures coming up. If I had to predict one player, it would be Havertz. And
Would you take him in the place of someone like James?
I mean, he's more expensive than James, but if you have the money, yeah, I would because Everton, after their loss, they need to pick back up. So, and without Richarlison and without Digne, it might be a bit tough for James to do it alone.
Yeah.
And, in this game, FPL, you have to keep changing based off of like the trends. It's like fashion. This FPL.
Yeah.
Whoever has Havertz is on good form, you jump on him and then back to James. So I think now it's like Zaha, Havertz, these guys that might get you points in the next 3 games, and then it's gonna switch again. But Salah, for example, is like Toyota. Like you always have, you're never gonna sell Toyota. Like
yeah, no, for sure. So it's like you're a firm believer in not changing too much, right? But you're saying that like you still have to follow a few trends here and there, but then keep your core team.
Yeah, you have to always keep your core team, core players. I mean, like the premium ones, the ones that don't upset you. In
Yeah,
season,
for example, like a Kane and Salah, like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
keep
like Trent Robertson, you know what I mean? Like people might be dropping them now just they haven't been getting some clean sheets, but I think they're gonna get some goals and assists again like they used to. You just have to have patience with the strong core options, but with these like Havertz, James, these guys who are like streaky, those are the guys that you have to like jump off the wagon, jump on the wagon, etc.
And the most surprising and craziest thing about this game was Maguire kept a clean sheet, man.
No,
I advise you to keep him in your team next week. I advise you.
didn't he headlock someone?
Yeah.
He keeps doing weird like things. Man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I don't think apart from
He should be fighting with Khabib or something.
Like, I mean, would you take any of the defenders from this from either of the teams or no?
Chilwell from Chelsea, and that's
Because of his
about it.
attacking threat, right?
And they
Yeah.
have good players. United, I don't know, man.
I'm telling you, keep Maguire in your team. If you want, you can captain him as well. Like, that's my advice to you personally.
Uh,
But yeah, I think that wraps up that game. And then moving on to the Liverpool Sheffield game. Uh, Two goals for Liverpool, but no Salah points, man. A lot of FPL managers.
I
Uh,
was, yeah, I was like watching this game behind my couch,
yeah,
like scared of Salah getting goals. But I mean, I really wanted Salah this week, but it would have made me butcher my team and do a -8.
yeah.
So I was so happy that he didn't score, but he got close to scoring so many times. He scored
So
the off
that means
goal.
it's just that he was just unlucky. Like
Very unlucky. Very like if you had Salah and you captained him, you did the right choice. You're not in his day, you know.
see,
He's
that's the
got
difference between I think like watching the game a bit closely and then just looking at the score. Because if you look at the score and you say, okay, Salah didn't score, he didn't assist, forget it, I'm gonna move him. But then if you see the game and see the chances he's creating, then you're like, okay, fine, he didn't score this week, it's unlucky. He'll score the next week. Like I mean, it's difficult to
so
watch all the games, but that's the advantage you get. I get.
that's one of the things before you make a transfer that I forgot to mention is the eye test. So before you make a transfer, watch the highlights of the game and see if the
Yeah.
player feels happy. He's on a roll. He's hitting the post. He's getting close.
Hmm.
If you feel like this guy's gonna do good, you go for it. Even though get stats or didn't score. So
That's
that's
an
one of the
excellent
reasons.
point. Yeah, that's an excellent point. And then Jota is looking good, man. Another goal. He scored in the Champions League as well this week. He's looking good.
I mean, yeah, every time I've seen Jota with Wolves, every time he scores, he goes on this like long streak of goals, goals, goals. He's on form. Whenever there's certain players when they're on form and they have confidence, they're amazing. So he's one of those guys. But it's just I don't know if he's gonna start. Like it's always Mane, Firmino, Salah, and I don't know how often Klopp is gonna trust to keep Jota in the starting lineup. Like he played him in the Champions League because he wanted to rest Mane, but will he play him in the league? It's yet to be known.
Hmm. Fair point. Fair point. And again,
Uh,
the Liverpool defense conceding goals. A bit
yeah,
of
they
worry.
were a bit unlucky. I think they got a penalty. Sheffield got a penalty that could have been argued not to be a penalty. So other
Yeah.
than that, they were good defensively. Fabinho is like Van Dijk Jr. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're watching him play. He's playing center back in terms of Van Dijk, and he's so good, honestly.
Yeah.
And he got injured in the Champions League, so if he's confirmed to be out for a while, then yeah, you might worry a bit about Liverpool defense.
Yeah.
But I'll
Because
still hold on.
right. Yeah. Right now you're banking on the assists from Robertson and Alexander Arnold, but. Yeah, if they continue to concede goals, then you might, and if they're not providing attackingly, then you might want to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that wraps up that game. Any last thoughts about this game?
No,
Sheffield, anyone impressed you?
no, not really.
All right. All right. And then moving to the next game is probably the most surprising result for me in this game week. The unbeaten team, the unbeaten streak was broken by Southampton. I mean, Southampton have been impressive, but we just thought Everton would win this game. So, your thoughts on this game?
To be completely honest, I wasn't surprised because I watched them against Liverpool and Everton was supposed to lose that game. They
Yeah.
got lucky uh, getting a draw out of that. It looked like Hammers was very isolated this game. Calvert-Lewin wasn't getting the chances. Iwobi just isn't what Richarlison is for Everton. Sigurdsson, I feel, slows down the play too much.
Mm.
So if they return to their strong, fit starting lineup at the start of the season with, Everton can come back to how they were. But next game week, it's again just Hammers and Calvert-Lewin. The rest might be injured, I mean suspended or whatever. So I'm not really sure how everything's going to do the next few game weeks. But in terms of Southampton, this was an amazing result for them, and honestly, I really want some of their players now because of this game.
Adams?
Actually, yeah, Adams, that's the guy that I was going to say that's a good forward option. Cheap,
Yeah.
5.8 is actually cheaper than Bamford.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get the goals that he got last season. He's getting that confidence back. and with Ings and Ward-Prowse creating chances for him, I expect him to score even next game week. Like, he hold me accountable for it. I think he's going to score next week.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Danny.
in my opinion, and Ings, what a player,
Danny boy.
honestly.
Yeah,
Like
he's been
those,
unbelievable. Like it's not just the goals now; he's providing assists as well. He's been a threat all season.
he's a great player. Forget about the
Hmm.
goals he gets. Like if you just watch him play, he's like the top world class in my opinion. He can enter any team in the league, I think. And
Wow.
speak starting. It's just he's quite expensive, but if you have the money, you can go for him.
Yeah, no, definitely. These Southampton players are looking very impressive so far.
I think you know how Southampton lost last season to Leicester 9-0?
Yeah,
And then right after that, they picked up and they became strong again, and they became a top team. I
yeah,
think the same thing happened to them after they lost to Spurs 5-1. Is that they're like they woke up. They just need that wake up call, and now I think they're back to being strong
yeah.
again.
They have like a game in the season where they just like they go to sleep. Yeah,
Yeah,
and they turn off, and then suddenly that's a wake up call, and then they just come back and uh, get themselves together, I guess.
yeah. So if you're gonna go for them, they have so many good options in defense, in attack, and
And
goal.
good prices, good prices. So definitely,
Yeah,
I
they
think
have
it's a good
good
shout.
first. Step
And
three is just expensive.
how are their fixtures?
The fixtures are actually pretty good. I think they have two easy games after this. We'll check it.
All right, perfect. And then moving on to the next game, Wolves versus Newcastle. Wolves not looking like the same team they were last year. They're conceding goals. They're not finishing off games. They haven't been as convincing. But Raul Jimenez, the greatest man from Mexico, like he's still scoring goals. Like I still have him in my team. Probably you want maybe a bit more goals from him, but like he's still doing the job.
I mean, yeah, I'm very grateful to Jimenez because he doesn't get any chances. Like the last few games, Wolves have been really bad in terms of creating,
How
in terms of
how badly are they missing Jota, man?
they're missing him, but I think it's more they're missing their wing backs, Johnny and Doherty, because
Yeah,
those are the guys that used to bring them like those forward options and they used to take away pressure from their strikers. Like last season and the season before that, Wolves had this like consistent lineup that you know they're gonna start the same players every single week. This year, you don't know who's gonna start for Wolves. They're
yeah.
kind of
It's not
they're
consistent.
not not consistent. They're not as prepared as they were the seasons before. They sometimes they play Traore left right back. Sometimes they play him up front. They play Semedo now. Their defense is all over the place. They're still a strong team, but they just need to stabilize, I feel, and then they'll get those chances. So I'm really grateful to Jimenez because despite him getting no chances to score, he still gets us that goal, the bonus points. So I might
Sí,
have to
sí,
let
man.
go of Jimenez in my team just because of the fact that Wolves are just not up
They're
to it
not,
yet.
yeah, they're not productive up front. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, and that free kick, man. Just your thought on that. How unbelievable was that
it's,
from from Murphy?
yeah, it was last minute, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was insane.
yeah.
Was expected. And Newcastle have been fighting this season. Like they've been blowing hot and cold, but like there's some games like tough games they are showing up.
Yeah, it's just when teams, like you said, are hot and cold, like Newcastle, I don't like them for my fantasy team because, like, I don't know what,
Inconsistent.
yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, maybe Wilson will score a hat trick tomorrow. Maybe next week he'll get a red card or he won't play. Like,
Yeah.
I just, Newcastle is like, I close my eyes. Like, I don't even think about them, to be honest. Like, there's some
Yeah.
teams I close my eyes to and I move away, even if they have the best fixtures in the world.
Yeah. The another team that like is that for you is the team we're going to talk about next. And I actually I couldn't believe it because you have been saying stay away from Arsenal players, and I'm like, no man, they've been playing good this season. They have some good fixtures. I mean, they look better under Arteta, but you got a spot on once again. They lost to Leicester at home. They had chances, like a Z. I don't know, man. He's looking like French giant bent. Aubameyang, not he's not been as threatening as we thought he would be. I thought he was a good captaincy option this year because he's in the midfield, and I think he can provide those goals like Salah does. But it's just not working out. I think for Arsenal, despite having a good team. Yeah, it's just I think the lack of productivity. They're missing a player like Ozil.
Yeah,
Uh,
you said it. Like they're like putting him in a prison. He can't even play. Uh,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, like, Arsenal is one of those teams again, where their players are so expensive and you don't know how they're gonna do. They lose to Leicester 1-0 at home. Next week, you just don't know this team. Arsenal. I don't know when Arsenal is gonna become back to what they used to be, which was like I don't know,
yeah.
20 years ago now. I don't know anymore. But
Like they will get you points here and there, but it's not going to be consistent. So it's a risk.
it's a big risk to have them, and especially Arsenal because they're so expensive. Newcastle, you can risk it because you can get someone for 6 million like Wilson. Arsenal, it's like Aubameyang for 12 million or something, and he like if you get someone for 12 million, it's like Salah. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
just
and you
won't.
need that kind of return, which you're not getting from him.
No, you're not. So with Arsenal, like if their options were cheaper, I would highly consider them. But the fact that they're not, it's also another one where I close my eyes
But
to.
how did you feel? How did you know? Like because they look better this season initially.
It's just it's this thing. It's like some DNA, Arsenal DNA. Have it. I don't know. Like they just you every single season it happens, and people are like, no, this time Arteta, this time Emery, this time that. Like it's just I won't believe it until they go a full season strong again, and
Yeah,
then okay, next year I'll consider it.
I
Like
think
Liverpool,
yeah,
Liverpool were like this, and then they got Klopp, and then even when they got Klopp, they were okay. And then the season after that, they woke up. It's like they suddenly woke up and they were winning like
yeah,
2 games. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go on Liverpool.
yeah.
But before that, I was the same with Liverpool. I gave them the same like they had Benteke. I never went for Benteke. I'm like, he's not gonna do anything with Liverpool. You know what I mean? He'll
Yeah,
score
yeah.
one game, another game he's like not even playing.
Yeah, and the thing with Arsenal, I think every year, like, I mean, they got Thomas Partey, and he's an excellent signing, excellent player. But the thing is, then they're missing creativity, like Ozil. So there's always something they're missing in this team. Either it's the defense, or it's like in the midfield they're missing something, or even in the strike force. Like Aubameyang might need someone who's a bit more clinical with him, or maybe he needs to play in Lacazette's position. But there's something they're missing every single time when they play.
I don't know why they bought Willian after they paid 70 million on Pepe. Like they're buying a guy who's like 30 something years old, putting him on the right way. Why can't they put their money like in proper players? I said that in the beginning, and then he got 3 assists in the first game week, and
Yeah,
everyone's like, "Oh, you're wrong." I'm like, "Wait, just wait."
yeah,
And now where is he? What is he doing? He's not even starting. He's
yeah,
chilling. I don't know.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
your point about Ozil is really good because they do need someone like. Remember when Ozil was there and playing his best? You actually picked Arsenal assets in FPL. I used to pick Ozil
yeah,
always, him and even Giroud sometimes.
yeah,
But then Ozil was gone. They don't have that creative guy who can put in chance after chance, keep
yeah.
crossing it, giving it to about. Aubameyang has no one to give him the ball.
That's the problem. There's lack of productivity there. That's the problem. And like maybe somebody like a James or Madison, if they got someone like that this season, Arsenal would have been a different team. But that's the thing with them. Like, they get one player, then they miss out somewhere else. Like, you're getting
Right.
Partey, but you need a guy who's gonna tag team with him, like who's gonna provide something else different to him.
Grealish, for example.
Yeah,
You know,
Grealish is a good example as well. But now you have like Zaka in the midfield with Partey.
don't
It's
doctor.
yeah,
No one
there's
like
not
that
much
guy.
creative. Yeah, there's not much creativity, but who knows? There's still some promising players there. Aubameyang, Saka, the youngster is also promising. But right now, I think you're right. Like I didn't agree with you up until this week when I saw this game. I'm like, yeah. And then just a mention on the main man, the man who always has a party, Jamie Vardy, man, like unbelievable.
Oh,
Like he
this
came on as on from the bench, man, and then changed the game.
this is Mr. Consistent, man. He comes on, scores, doesn't like, doesn't chat shit. He just gets things done. Honestly,
Yeah.
he comes in and he literally scores a goal. Like this is a guy that's worth 10 million in a game. Yeah, you can put your money there because you'd expect him to score next week, week after. they're losing 3-0 and they'll score one. Like, they'll get you something, you know.
Yeah, once he's fully fit, you'll back him in your team.
Yes, I think he's back to full fitness, but he's still too expensive. And right now I have Kane, and Spurs fixtures in 2 games or 3 games become really bad. So I might switch to Vardy.
Switch to Vardy, yeah. And Vardy's, I think, despite his age, the pace he has, I think that's unbelievable, and that helps him as well. Like at that age to run that fast, man.
He's a legend, a real legend. Wins the league, and after he wins the league, everyone leaves. He stays and he gets 20 goals a season.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I agree with you.
Legend in the Premier League.
Yeah, I agree with you. Unbelievable. And then I think that wraps up Sunday's fixtures, and then the 2 games on Monday: Brighton versus West Brom. Your boy Tarek Lamptey, how did he do?
He was the man of the match. You know
that? Was he?
I swear he was man of the match.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they said that he should have got himself like a goal and an assist. This keeps
happening. He got a yellow card though.
Yeah, he got a yellow card because he puts his heart into it, man.
Yeah, but he was very impressive.
He was very impressive, and like I know I keep saying this and he keeps not getting points, but just patience. Like he's eventually gonna get something. I just feel Brighton's like not that good of a team, but Lamptey's doing really good. If you just watch the game, it's unbelievable how good of a player he is.
Yeah.
He's defending, attacking, he's all over the place. Just give him some time, he'll get you those returns.
No, yeah, definitely.
West Brom is another team where I close my eyes. I don't even want to know who their players are. This team's gonna get relegated. I'm telling you from now.
What about Callum Robinson, man? He's been chipping in with some assists and goals here and there.
Callum Robinson's been there for like the last 5 years. Even when West Brom was in the Premier League 3 years ago. Same old guy. He'd get 1 goal, 1 assist. People will like put him and then he disappears. When he comes back, this one. These guys just like forget about this guy.
All right. We'll take your word on that, but
West Brom. Think about it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, they haven't been impressive. But this would be if you look at it from their context, this will be a crucial point for them. So they'll be happy with the result. But you're right. I think there's not much consistency there.
In terms of FPL, like even Brighton, it's not that like you go for like a cheap defense option like Lamptey, but you know, otherwise no. Like Mapai, like
he's not only when he's playing Arsenal.
Yeah, honestly, disgrace, but he's not.
And then the last game of the game week, man, everyone I had Son. I didn't have both, but a lot of managers I saw. If you check Twitter, Instagram, everyone had like Kane and Son. Everyone was waiting for this game, and in the end, it was these two combined for the goal. They saved a lot of people's game weeks. Your thoughts on them and this game?
Yeah, like we said, Batman, Robin, Kane, and Son. They're gonna keep providing each other with goals.
Yeah, and like you said, he's playing a bit deeper sometimes, and like it's helping out Son to score some goals.
Yeah, so you'll expect Son to be the top scorer this season if he doesn't get injured, and Kane to be the top assister. He's playing that role that Eriksen used to play. It's a bit annoying because sometimes you want Kane to score and you see him like in center mid, sometimes it pisses me off, but otherwise he still manages to get goals. And his penalties are like one of the nicest penalties to watch. He blasts side netting. Kane is just a top player. So like you're getting like when you pay for Kane, it's like you have sort of like Messi in the sense that he will get you assists and goals. He plays that deeper role.
Yeah,
of course not as good as Messi, but like it's that type of player. And
like you said, right now he's playing a bit deeper, but he'll still find the goal, and assists are always welcome for FPL managers for sure, right?
Exactly. Other than that, in this game, I mean, Bale didn't come on. I really wanted to see how he would do. I guess Bale is just like reliving his Madrid life at Spurs, or I don't know when he's gonna finally get the starts that he deserves, but we'll see in due course.
Yeah, he came off the bench, but probably once he starts games and stuff, you'll probably see how he'll do.
Burnley is just also a very depressing team because
any players that you would watch out from them?
Well, Burnley, I mean, no, their prices all went up because of last season. So
Yeah.
people like Pope, who was 4.5, is 5 now. They're not even doing well. So honestly, no. Burnley, burn a page out of my book. I don't even know what that metaphor means, but basically just no, no Burnley for now.
No Burnley, and you have both Kane and Son.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, you
Uh,
have to.
you
Whoever
have
is
to, huh?
get him now.
When I
Take
asked you
them.
last week, like a couple of weeks ago, you said you're gonna wait, so I wasn't sure if you have them, but yeah, I think that's
No, I had Kane from a long time ago, and Son
yeah.
I had him. I took him off because Mourinho said he was injured, and he got that
Oh yeah,
half
yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, my bad.
for grace. So
Yeah,
then I waited for him, and once he was confirmed back, I just brought him back.
yeah, no, yeah, you're right. And then moving on to the next game week, the fixtures. What are your tactics gonna look like? United playing Arsenal, that's a big game. Liverpool have a decent fixture against West Ham, but West Ham been playing good against big teams. Leeds and Leicester looks like a good fixture as well. Your thoughts on this game week?
Okay, so if I look at the first game, Wolves Palace looks like a low scoring game since both of them they're not attacking very well. Could be 0-0, could be 1-1.
If it is 1-1, Jimenez and Zaha on the score sheet, hopefully.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a very high chance it will happen.
yeah,
Sheffield City, I expect City to win this one. I think they'll bounce back with a 3-0. De Bruyne is back. Big guy. We forgot to talk about him, but I think he's back. In the Champions League, got 2 assists.
yeah.
He's going to come back, I think, with a bang this game.
So that
Yeah,
opens up the midfield debate again then.
yeah, definitely. He's one of those major assets like Salah. So if you have the money and you have it stored for him, go get De Bruyne. He's a consistent guy, getting you goals, assists, season after season, and they're gonna play Sheffield. So I think expect a good game for City.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Burnley. I don't know honestly. Chelsea are playing well again, and Burnley's just could be a 1-0 for Chelsea, 2-3-0 maybe, but I don't know. Hard to predict.
Yeah.
But have Chelsea defense or attack, keep them.
Keep them.
Liverpool West Ham is I don't know. West Ham is so hard to predict. I don't know how they're gonna do, but Liverpool look like they need to win to keep to go first and win this, pretty much be the leaders of the league since they have that chance now.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go ahead for that. Mane, Salah, Firmino are all gonna play for sure, and they're all gonna be fit because they were rested in the Champions League. So it's a big captaincy option for Salah this week once again.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you that. So yeah, that will be tempting. Yeah.
Salah captain locked in for whoever has him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Villa Southampton.
It could go either way, man. Grealish or someone. I mean,
Yeah, I think since Southampton are on hot form, I think Southampton will win this one. Maybe 1-0. Or maybe even more.
Yeah, and they have some good, like someone like Adams might be a good pick for this game.
I agree. Newcastle, Everton is Newcastle, like I said, like on and off. They never know when they're going to pick up. And Everton.
If they go cold, it'll be a good week for Calvert-Lewin and James. But like you said, other players are injured, so
really hard to predict this season. I really don't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give my opinions and stuff. Yeah. It's just hard to predict the season. I don't know who's playing well, it's still early a bit. I don't know who's actually really strong, but if you have Everton assets, of course, keep them. So it looks like a relatively easy fixture.
Yeah.
United Arsenal is one other game where just close your eyes, in terms of fantasy options. I feel like what's gonna happen this game? 0-0? Come on, you think United can win 3-0, 4-0? It looks like one of those games where you just kind of 1-1, 0-0, like the Chelsea United game last
Yeah, it's gonna be a cagey game probably.
Yeah.
Unless
Spurs, it's gonna be a big game for Spurs. They should win 3-4-0. So whoever has Tarek Lamptey, I know I said a lot about him, but he's cute. But let him sit on the bench for this week.
Yeah.
Kane and Son are gonna match up, and probably Bale will come on and get a brace or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a good game for Spurs.
For sure. Kane and Son will be, I think that everyone will be trying to get them. And then moving on, Fulham versus West Brom.
I want to ask
Uh,
you about the next. You don't want to
okay.
pick.
I was thinking of skipping it because you told me, I know your thoughts on these two teams, but yeah, I don't think there's any players. Maybe Mitrovic, but apart
No
from
disrespect, no disrespect to these two teams, but like, I
yeah,
mean,
and also you're saying it from FPL point of view, right? You're not looking
yeah,
at it like you're not looking
honestly,
at it as a
I wish Brentford made it instead of these teams. Brentford had like such good. They had Ben Rama, Saeed Ben Rahma or Ben Rama, whatever.
yeah.
He would have done amazing for FPL. I mean, he moved to West Ham, but he's not going to play yet. But if Brentford would have been such a fun team to watch and own their assets. These two guys are. We've seen them every year. They come and they go. They're like they're not PL quality. They're not championship quality. They're just like in the middle, where no one cares. Uh,
Yeah.
Game I just wish never existed. To be honest. One, one,
But watch
one
Mitrovic is going to score a hat trick and change your mind.
look, a hat trick will happen in this game for sure. But then next week, that guy will got the hat trick to be on the bench, or
Yeah.
getting a red card or something. Like, just
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah, long, long term. And then I think this is going to be probably the most exciting game of the game
Yeah,
week.
Leeds last.
Leeds
Definitely.
versus Leicester. Hopefully Vardy plays the full game. I think it'll be a really fun game.
I mean, yeah, I think Vardy will get himself a goal since Leeds are quite leaky at the back. But Leeds also on form. It could be a high-scoring game. Maybe even I'd predict honestly like a 3-2 win for Leicester, which would be fun to
3-2.
watch.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun game. Now, just to wrap this up, I think we talked about a lot of things. Just to wrap this up, your captaincy pick, give me one name. There's a lot of names there. Salah. Over Kane,
Over, yeah,
over Kane, over Vardy, over Son, over everyone.
Mohamed Salah
Mohamed Salah is your captain. And if you wanted to give a differential pick,
for captaincy.
yes. Bamford.
No, Bamford. If I had to give a differential or just not Salah, which one?
No, I would say
Okay, look, if it's not
if it's
Salah,
not Salah, it's Kane. I know. Or
Kane,
Son. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But if it's differential, probably Kevin De Bruyne or Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. Right, Sterling. Yes, I just wanted to ask you lastly on that. Sterling, yes, he's not getting the points, but he is looking like a goal threat, right? Like, I mean, he looks more threatening. He's looking more threatening than players who are scoring.
Yeah, he's back to like he's slowly coming back to it. He missed some sitters against West Ham. He's a top class player in my opinion. He just needs to get that brace to start off the season and just beat this game.
Yeah.
He scored in the Champions League in game assist yesterday, so who knows? This game could be his. Like, if you really want to go for a differential top pick and captain Sterling,
it'd be a good pick. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Any last thoughts for you for this upcoming game week?
Honestly, no. Just keep your patience in the top players and try to find those trendy players, those players who are on form. Latch onto them.
Yeah.
And be flexible in terms of that, and I think you'll do well.
Yeah, and there's plenty of options, so you just need to pick who you already have, like keep them and then just back them, and then you can switch with other players who are informed, like you can rotate, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, but thank you so much for joining me. I think we covered quite a bit today. Hopefully, I'll catch you next week, and best of luck for this game week, man.
Thank you. You too, man.